Andrew Faris from the 4x400 side here today. I'm going to tell you about the biggest marketing win we've had recently and how you can do the same thing. All right, so if you've been following CTC's content and CTC for a while, you know about 4x400. 4x400 is the side of our business where we own and run our own brands. We have 3 brands right now. And I want to tell you, as the guy who's charged with kind of leading that side of our business right now, I want to tell you a little bit about the biggest marketing win we've had in recent memory at 4x400. And the reason I want to tell you about it is because absolutely anyone can repeat the process to make this happen in your business. So let me start by setting up what the problem was. One of our businesses, Slick Products, has done really well, has had a really consistent growth trajectory, but Slick Products sells off-road wash products to people riding dirt bikes and ATVs and any other vehicles that are getting lots of heavy dirt and mud off-road. And so Slick sells wash products for that, amazing products founded by an amazing founder, Brian Wilkinson, who currently runs that brand or leads that brand in the 4x400 ecosystem. So Brian and I and some others were talking, and the main problem with Slick is that individual bottles of wash solutions are really heavy to ship, and that really eats into our margins. So even though the growth pace that we wanted was there, the ad account looked good, the total efficiency of the brand was looking great, we were just getting killed on our margins. So we had to fix that. So that was the main problem, and to create a solution to that problem, Brian got to work doing all kinds of research at every possible step of the entire brand, right? So there's a lot of things you can do to fix your margin. You can try and charge more for shipping. You can try and reduce the cost of goods straight up on the manufacturing and supply chain side, and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? But the solution that Brian landed on actually was, why don't we just raise the price? And the reason he did that was because he was doing all kinds of research, looked at every other brand in our space, you know, car wash brands, other brands. There's not really a lot of other people selling straight up off-road wash products, but kind of brands who would be in similar spaces. And Brian looked at all of them and said, I think we've got some room to go up in price. And we all kind of looked around and said, all right, let's try it. Now, first of all, there's something to be said about the fact that Brian's task was to go solve the problem, and he did all the research to do it. And so as a guy working with him, my job is to trust him and say, no matter what I think of the solution, if I think it'll work or not, I'm going to trust that he did the good work as he showed his work to make it happen. And so we went and said, let's go for it. Let's raise the price. And here's what we thought would happen. What we thought would happen was, when you raise the price, what we expect is an increase in AOV, which would help our margin, but of course it would come at the cost of our conversion rate. You would have some drop off. That usually is the relationship between AOV and conversion rate. AOV goes up, conversion rate goes down. That's a general rule. So with that said, we kind of all looked around and said, we'll try this and see if it'll work. Now, here's one of the things I loved about the solution before it actually got anywhere. It's incredibly low human cost to raise the price on your website. If you have a big complicated business with lots of retail partners and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty challenging to deal with changing your pricing. But if you're running a .com mostly business where you control your pricing completely, you can just go and change it. You just log into Shopify, change the price, and see what happens. And ultimately, that was my favorite thing about this solution. We didn't have to go deal with supply chain and manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. All we had to do was log in, change the price, and go for it. So if Brian was wrong, what was the cost? In particular, the human cost and the time it takes to go do all that. And he'd done the research, so we just thought, let's give it a shot. We made our hypothesis, checked it out. And what happened was, it was an absolute slam dunk, like in every possible way. We saw our AOV go up 15%. We saw our margins increase with all told, we think about 20%. We're actually kind of still waiting and see where all the numbers exactly come in. We saw, what else? Oh, conversion rate stayed pretty much flat. We didn't really lose anybody in the process. Our customer acquisition funnel was pumping. We actually raised our spend afterwards because we're finding we're acquiring customers a little more efficiently than we were before, probably because of the AOV bump. So basically, it's the all-time marketing slam dunk. We didn't lose any traffic. We didn't lose any conversion rate. In fact, we gained traffic, and we got more dollars per purchase at more margin. Everything went great. So here's the lesson that I want to pass along, or something I've been thinking about a lot after this happened. It's this. The main takeaway here is not raise your price. Actually, the interesting thing about that is for one of our other brands, we had just played with the same thing and we lowered the price a little bit because we found that there wasn't as much price elasticity there or as we had hoped to kind of push the price up, right? For some brands, it's going to work to raise your price. For some, it's going to be about lowering. You're going to have to find that for every brand. The real takeaway here is this: just try it. I've sat in so many meetings with so many smart people who all look around at each other and they all say they know what's going to happen when you do X, Y, and Z in the future. And you know what? Nobody knows the future. The baseline assumption you should have about what's going to happen next is do the research, do the thought work, make a hypothesis, and be ready to be wrong. What you really want to do is minimize the cost of trying things and then just try it. If you've got a solution that easy, literally a 5-minute solution, log in, go increase the price, and then see what happens. Ultimately, if it didn't work out, what were we going to do? Lower the price right back down, everything would be fine. I sat in that meeting, by the way, with Taylor, among others, who said, I don't think this will work. And Taylor would be glad to sit here and tell you that was his hypothesis. He was wrong. No problem. We tested it and it worked. People are wrong all the time. That's the reality of things. Nobody knows the future. So what you want to do to get some of your biggest wins is very simply find the biggest levers you can pull with the least amount of effort and pull them. See what happens. Just try it, and maybe you'll unlock the next grand slam in your business.